Hello, everyone. We will be starting with the session now. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, dear authors and invited guests. Welcome to the technical session 13B. Myself, Anshika Jain, and this session would be moderated by me. I, on the behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 10th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology ICICT 2025 London, UK. The 10th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday on 18 February in London, UK, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom from 19 to 21st February 2025. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations, and each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentations and 3 minutes for the questions and answers. On 10 minutes, I will raise a very gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or any update, then you can write it to me in the chat box below. Just before we get started with the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Chaitali Sevale. Ma'am is currently serving as an assistant professor at Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. She has over 12 years of rich experience in teaching, research, and academic leadership with more than 30 publications in reputed national and international journals. Welcome to the session, ma'am. Would you like to give a quick opening remark to us?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm Dr. Chaitali Shivae from VIIT. Okay, so all the best for your sessions and presentations. We will be continuing throughout the session.
Thank
All
you
the
so
best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would also like to take a moment to introduce you to our next session chair, Dr. Latika Desai. Ma'am is currently working as an associate professor and academic administrator, ICICT, IT department at Dr. D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Pune, India. She has total 25 years of teaching experience. Ma'am has published more than 33 papers in various journals. She is having 2 copyrights from the government of the India. Her area of research and areas of interest include digital electronics, data security and embedded systems, and IoT cloud. Welcome to the session, ma'am. Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us? Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Hello. As you said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. All the best for your presentations, authors. Give your best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to Anshika.
Yeah, so we'll be beginning with the presentations now. First, we have Nazli to present the paper titled Brain Detective, an advanced deep learning application for early detection, segmentation, and classification of brain tumors using MRI images. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Hello, welcome all. I hope you are doing well. I'm from Istanbul. So as they mentioned, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, so let me share my screen due to time limitation to not wait a moment. Yeah.
Please start with the presentation.
Yes. Did you get the presentation now?
Yes, we can see it. You may start.
Perfect. Yes, thank you first of all for this nice event and conference, of course. So I want to start with an introduction why we need brain detective application or to design such application in Turkey, actually. Unfortunately, day by day, like other disease in human life, the brain tumors are really increasing based on World Health Organization last report. Now, actually, or unfortunately, the brain tumors now have very become deadly in the recent years, especially with the younger people around age 13 and 14 and 40. That's why the early detection of such a disease or cancer is important now day by day, because it helps really in surgical planning, treatment, and can help in reducing the mortality among young people, especially. But the most important factor in Turkey here, unfortunately, is in public hospitals. Actually, there is a lack in a number of neurosurgeons here. So there is a really high workload on them, and lead maybe to burnout. Approximately daily, they are examining around 70 and 80 patients, unfortunately here, which is very not good situation. So that's why in our university hospital, we work with the neurosurgeons in order to develop such a Turkish user interface friendly software that having with using actually or taking advantage from deep learning models. So if we jump back to the previous studies about these technologies or AI that detecting the brain tumors, in the first place or the first generation tried to use the machine learning, such as the super shape vector machine and other things. But here the problem is we didn't have actually a good feature extraction from the data that we have from MRI images. So we didn't reach to a good accuracy in defining a tumor tissues and its border actually. So that's why there is another studies that using deep learning model instead of machine learning ones, which is trying to help and automate feature extraction by using different models such as UNet and dual attention net models actually. So I trying to gather it in a whole table. So in UNet is actually a full conversion network for performed well in medical image segmentation. Then actually it contains like an encoder and decoder, this architecture. So that helped in the segmentation of the tumor sections or tissues. So followed by using the dual attention mechanism, which combine the special and channel attentions mechanism. Then followed, of course, this is for only 2D image, and the new version that consists of 3D images too, or MRI data. Then actually, this is all in the literature. So actually, we're trying to combine all these models in our application, and we implement them separately. And then later, we use the BRA 2020 data set. So in BRA, actually, this public data set obtained from Kaggle contains 369 patients MR scans with different modalities. You know, these multiple modalities actually, for example, T1, T2, FLAIR, and etc., trying to give another information or layer of the tumor issue in the MRI image. So of course, we are trying to increase this data set contains only two types of tumor, the benign, or we can say the low-grade glioma, and the high-grade glioma, which is the bad type of the tumor. So actually, yes, this is an initial or preliminary work actually of this application. And we have an intention to use or test different data sets, real data sets that having taken from hospitals from Turkey actually. But first of all, since we use this data set in order to define the accuracy of all the models that combine within our application, so we're trying to use to increase the size of the data set. We increase by around 100 100,000 samples. The main problem with this data set is the lack of subtypes of the tumor, and we have much benign or low-grade glioma types. That's why we increase by using the augmentation the bad tumor types also. So also we don't have the clinical factor like age or gender. So we have also problems with the data sets too. So, but anyway, since we have this data set and we train on our model, so of course, as every model training using deep learning algorithms, so we need to pre-processing the data by making the factory and strategy patterns used that by, as I mentioned to you before, increment or trying to balance the data types, tumor types within it, and cleaning it, then normalization by using the min, max, and z-score, and then trying to augmenting it by rotating, clipping, and it was really very painful period while we are trying to have a normalized form of all the data. Take us around, I think, 1 month to prepare it. So it was real painful steps here. So then we save the data by using the NumPy and the TensorFlow records. Usually we use these two files because it is more have an advantage in training our data faster because, and also required a lot of hardware. We use a Colab in this case. And unfortunately, we don't have a very super computers in the university till now. We are new, but we hope that we are getting to one. To make our processing this data more faster. So our normal deep learning pipeline in the proposed design, you can say, after processing the data, we label by using the ground truth mask. So in ground truth mask, we label the infected area from the brain or the tumor, and then we apply all these models after we implemented it directly, and we're trying to obtain the predicted output from the model. So the blue area, as you can see, is the infected tissues or the tumor area, and the yellow one, as you can see, is the border area that may be infected also or with the tumor itself. And the black one is the healthy brain tissues. So that's why I'm sorry, I may be explaining very faster due to time limitation, but if you have any question, you can interrupt me, or you can interrupt in the end of the presentation. And so, of course, while we are implementing all these deep learning models within the same application, we use, of course, the TensorFlow, which is help us in building and deploying these deep learning models, and Keras also, which allows us to use a high-level neural network API that can connect to our application. Also, I already mentioned all these models that we use and what is about. And the file format that we used here also, and the data set I already mentioned about it. So this is our methodologies used here. So in the end, actually, we have this our brain detective application. We are uploading the file or the image, MRI image, and we let the physician select which models that he wants to see the output from it, and he can use more than all the models and see the output, then and show the results of having the tumor issue or tumor tissues in which, as a result, were in the brain. So actually, we are making the process more faster in order to detect the tumors. I will later show you now, or let me show you now. So this is our application. interface. So we're just uploading the file, and we just choose which model that physician want to see the results. And we have this output graphic of the brain. So you can see here in this example, succeeded in detecting the green areas show the infected tissues or the tumor itself, and the yellow is the infected. Also, it's possible to have an tumor tissues too, and the purple area is the
Interrupt you, but you have 2 minutes to conclude your presentation.
2 minutes. Oh, let me jump. Sorry. Too fast. Let me jump to the results. Okay. So as ever model performance evaluation, we use the dice coefficient and sensitivity and specificity. So you know all of these criteria, and these are the formulas that we use. Due to time limitation, I will not go through on it. So in the end, we achieve here. It's very important. You are seeing the three numbers here. The three numbers actually one for different modalities is the whole tumor with the surrounding surfaces, and the core tumor, and the third value is the tumor with infected tissues around it. So we achieve that unit have a maximum accuracy when compared to all the three actually models here. In the future, of course, we're trying to say that we need to use our application in more with the hospital collaboration and different file extension like DICOM Agile 7 standards, and we're trying to see or test it on real world clinical settings. Thank you very much. So BRIM Detective is actually a web-based application, deep learning models we used. So we hope it will be in a Turkish health system soon. Thank you very much for your listening. I can take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Uh, Good evening.
Good evening. Let me back.
You said that is AI model, like web-based AI model. So exactly how can you say that AI model is used or somewhere where AI is incorporated in this your website or
Yes.
web-based? Any means have you created any this thing chatbot or something?
Yes, we have now. Yes, we didn't create a chatbot actually. It's a web-based application that contains all the
You have
models.
also said no AI-based application, AI-based deep learning model.
Yes, exactly.
So what is the AI part in this?
AI part is embedding three models here: the DUNet and SGA and UNet. Actually, they are all deep learning models. They are trained on a data set, broad data set, and based on that data set, they are predicting if there is a tumor or not.
Okay, any real-time data have you choose for
No,
this?
no. We didn't apply it now as in the hospitals. We left it as a future work.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
done from my side.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yes. Nazli, nice presentation of
Thank you.
demanding area. Topic is, I have one doubt, that is you are combined three, as slide number 6 says, you are combining the three approaches, right?
Yes.
So what will be the impact of time complexity processing?
The time processing, if you're asking, usually, yes, the three models here, if you're asking about the training them and about all of them combined together, yes, it's required real powerful hardware actually. So it's not a very low time complexity. It's more higher time complexity, as you say. But the problem here in Turkey, why we trying to combine all these three models, actually, there is a resistance of using AI models in the hospital, because they are also claiming that doctors or physicians view or to diagnosis the tumor will be better than using AI models. So they are. That's why the problem we trying to show, actually, we give him all the models. We didn't think about these time complexities as an engineers. Actually, we just trying to improve for them that they can use it later in defining or having good accuracies in defining tumors. Actually,
Okay, Nardi. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation now.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Welcome. Next, we have Radford to present the paper title, Elicitation and Prioritization of Requirements for the Clinical Decision Support System for Gates-related Diseases in Resource-Limiting Settings. Are you there? Are you there? Okay. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Omar to present the paper title, Enhancing Cybersecurity Through Blockchain Technology. Are you there, Omar? Omar, are you there? Omar, are you there? Okay. So we'll be moving on to the next paper. Next, we have Satya to present the paper title, Exploring the Cultural Engagement Digital Model in the Elmeet AR Prototype, a study of user preferences. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, you may please begin with your presentation.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see the screen. You may begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katia Silva, and today I will be presenting a paper about using digital technologies to promote cultural tourism and heritage preservation. Okay. To contextualize, cultural heritage is a resource impossible to replace, and according to UNESCO, it is essential to transmit from generation to generation the unique customs, practice, and values to maintain a community's identity. One way of doing this is through cultural tourism, as 47% of tourism trips are motivated by the culture of the destination, make it a powerful tool for heritage preservation. Meanwhile, the use of information and communication technologies has expanded the tourism industry, increasing tourist engagements and offering new ways to engage tourists and new ways to experience heritage. One example is through mobile application or augmented reality. However, there is still a need for research into more effective ways to engage tourists with cultural heritage. To address this, we propose a digital communication model that supports the design of mobile application with three engagement flows: game, narrative, and creativity, all of which can be complemented with augmented reality. In this study, we present how the cultural engagement digital model was used to design three prototypes for the village of Almeida in Portugal, and these prototypes were tested to gain insights into user preference regarding the proposed activities. Augmented reality was not used at this stage because we need to maintain focus on each participatory dimension. So this is the cultural engagement digital model, and this encourages tourist active participation, reinforcing emotional connection and learning. This model presents a three engagement flow that can be complemented by augmented reality. In the game flow, we have exploration, like quests, knowledge, for example, quiz, and achievements, the gamification. In the narrative flow, we have the factual, the fictional, and locals experience dimensions. Lastly, the creativity flow have the personalization dimension, the socialization and recreation. To illustrate the model's applicability, we designed a hypothetical case in Almeida, Portugal, a location with significant historical and military relevance. Its star-shaped fortification played a major role in wars, especially during the Siege of Almeida, which is reenacted annually in August. So we developed 3 prototypes, each focusing on a different engagement flow. This is the game prototype, and as activities of achievements, treasure hunts, challenge, and patches. The narrative prototype has a main story, curiosities, and legends. The creativity prototype allows user to personalize the route and military uniform and take selfies and recreated ditches. The study was conducted from August to October, targeting both Almeida visitors and interaction design experts. Visitors test the prototypes during Almeida's historical reenacted event, while experts participated in a controlled lab setting. The main task was explore Almeida with the prototype and answer the questionnaire associated to the prototype. So, regarding the game results, the most popular activity was the quiz, followed by badges and treasure hunts. Most participants preferred more complex challenges that promote exploration than simple tasks. The idea of animation was also well received, as participants found it engaging and meaningful. There was a strong support for cultural mini-games, with all participants agreeing they should be included, but they preferred them to be short and optional. The digital booklet was also enjoyed as most participants found it a useful feature. In terms of gender difference, female participants showed a stronger preference for the quiz than males. For children, feedback was mixed, indicate that some adjustments need to be made to make the activities more engagement for children. Regarding the narrative results, most participants felt that there was too much information, and some suggested that using multimedia will make it easier to understand. Curiosities and fun facts in narrative were well appreciated, even though they were not the main focus. Many participants found it important to have a clear timeline, highlighting the need for a narrative path. The option to choose historical characters was also popular. Interacting with historical characters was one of the most appreciated features, as participants believe it will make the story more engaging. We also noticed a difference between the genders, since women prefer the story to follow a clear chronological order. For children, also as the same as the game, feedback was mixed, and we need to make some adjustments to engage younger audience. Lastly, the creativity results. The most popular creativity activity was recreating ditches, as it was rated artists in both enjoyment and preference. There was also strong interest in more personalization options, with participants wanting additional ways to customize their experience. Many were excited about more recreation activities beyond the ones that were provided. Regarding selfies, opinions were mixed, but there was a slight preference for fictional styles. Sharing sharing selfies on social media was seen as a fun feature, adding a social element to experience. We also noted some gender difference. Female participants showed more interest in personalizing the military uniform, and the creativity activities were considered the best fit for children, as they were the most engaging for younger audience. In terms of future work, our team will develop an augmented reality mobile application with the 3 flows and with augmented reality, so we can validate the cultural engagement design model. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, do you have any questions? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it was a nice presentation. Actually, this was for one model which you tested, right? Almeida something. It's a
Almeida,
plane.
Almeida is a village in Portugal, in the
Okay.
border with Spain.
Yeah. So you have done the research on this one particular place, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to increase the number of places for your model, so how will you handle the data on the real time basis?
Yes, the model was made based on literature review, and in the sequence of workshops that we made with students. So it was not made thinking about Almeida, but we want to test the activities in Almeida. So we want to be replicate with two other places, but with some adjustments because places are different.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation now. Next, we have Pedro to present the paper title Exploring the Use of Virtual Reminiscence in Pseudomentia, a single study pilot. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you may please begin with the presentation.
Thank you. I will share my screen.
Please.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. You may please start. Thank you.
So, good morning. My name is Pedro, and I'm a PhD student in extended realities. I will be presenting our study titled Exploring the Use of Virtual Reminiscence Therapy in Pseudodementia, a single case pilot study. This research was made in collaboration with Juliana Silva, Rui Raposo, Oscar Ribeiro, and Nelson Zagallo. To contextualize, with increasing life expectancy, the older population is growing at an accelerated rate, leading to higher prevalence of age-related conditions. And although aging itself is not directly linked to the disease, the incidence of conditions such as dementia has risen significantly. Concurrently, some individuals exhibit dementia-like symptoms not due to neurodegeneration, but as a consequence of other mental health conditions, such as late-life depression. And this condition is known as pseudodementia, and while it can be reversed um, while it can act as a reversible cause of these symptoms, it is also considered a significant predictor of dementia. And however, unlike Alzheimer's and other dementias, pseudodementia symptoms can often be reversed with appropriate treatment, highlighting the importance of timely intervention. Hence, our main objective is to explore whether non-pharmacological treatments, specifically virtual reminiscence therapy, can help mitigate the effects of pseudodementia and potentially reverse its symptoms. Yet, since we are in the exploratory phase, this study was a single case pilot study that explored the feasibility of using virtual reminiscence therapy to promote storytelling and assess the level of technological acceptance. In this study, we worked with Mrs. Alice, a 78-year-old Caucasian woman, widow and a retired primary school teacher. She had mild cognitive decline and presents moderately severe anxiety symptoms, moderate depressive symptoms, which contribute to the overall psychological distress. She had also ruminative thoughts about her past in Angola and the death of her husband. Regarding the procedure design, we started by obtaining the informed consent, then standardized assessments were conducted, including the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, the Geriatric Anxiety Inventory, Geriatric Depression Scale, and the Inventory of Complicated Grief. At the end, an interview was conducted to better understand Mrs. Alice's life story. As for the intervention, it consisted of 2 virtual reminiscence therapy sessions, during which engagement and response to the technology were assessed. During the intervention, Mrs. Alice used the ANA prototype, which is an autobiographical narrative virtual environment. In the first session, she used the digital memory album. It's the book that is in the picture, in the presentation, which contain her digitalized photos. And in the second session, she was exposed to 360 videos, which she could interact from a TV, featuring places chosen based on the interview that we conducted during the pre-intervention phase. In terms of results, Mrs. Alice actively engaged in the reminiscence sessions, recalling and sharing memories that she had jointly experienced with her husband without eliciting any negative emotions, despite the distress associated with his passing. Her engagement levels were high, 47 out of 50 and 45 out of 50, with no reported symptoms of cybersickness. During the sessions, she interacted naturally with the materials, while waving her finger in the air and pointing at the people in the photographs and sharing stories about them. There was an interesting moment that occurred when she viewed a video of the school where she used to teach. The outside was degraded and the inside was full of wild vegetation, but she instantly recognized the place. Overall, she showed clear preference for the digital memory album, and her description of the places were rich in detail, recalling various aspects of her daily life, such as her students' antics. These are some quotes that she said. So, our findings support the viability of using virtual reality as a therapeutic tool for reminiscence and storytelling. The technology proved to be accessible with a manageable learning curve and did not induce symptoms of cybersickness. The results also help reinforce the virtual reminiscence model as a practical framework for designing person-centered intervention. One key observation was that emotionally linked content, such as the digital memory album, was more effective in triggering personal memories than autobiographical content created by the researchers, as was the case with the 360 videos. We also found a positive correlation between immersion time and engagement, leading to more natural interactions with the technology and a smoother storytelling process. And as a recommendation for future studies, they should consider the effects of medication, as it may influence cognitive and emotional responses. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Pedro. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it was a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Just a question. This was the only case study which you worked with, or there were means for a research, there should be at least 5 to 10 case studies, wherein you can come to a conclusion regarding
Yes.
anything.
Yes, there are
So,
no
have you
studies.
done this, or only one case study which you have mentioned that was done?
We done only one case study, since this is a condition that is hard to find in people. Also, there are no studies that seek to understand the effects of virtual reminiscence therapy in pseudodementia. There are some studies, that's the area that I work in. There are some studies that try to understand the effects of virtual reminiscence therapy in dementia, but not pseudodementia. So it's a niche area. It's a small area
Okay.
without any studies. And we don't know the effects that this type of intervention can cause on people with pseudo-dementia. So instead of going to a sample of 5, 10, 15 people, we tried the technology with only one person, so we can try to adequate the technology, and then we can proceed to a higher sample.
Yeah, but you can do it, at least you can take 5 samples so that you will understand whether the model adequately works or no.
Yes, I know.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Actually, same question is in my mindset, which Anchika,
Chaitali.
Chaitanya madam has asked. Because as a
Um,
researcher, we have to do the analysis on the previous researchers, what they did. So more and more analysis should be included. That is one submission from my side. Otherwise, the presentation was good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to Anchika.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Wafa to present the paper titled Heart Failure Prediction, Performance Evaluation and Comparative Analysis of Machine Learning Algorithms. Are you there?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We can hear you. You may please begin with your presentation.
Sure. I'm sorry I can't activate my camera. I have a technical problem.
Okay, you can share your screen and begin the presentation.
Sure. You can see it?
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Okay. Hello everyone. I will start by presenting myself. My name is Wafa Bakouche. I'm a doctor in biophysics, medical physics, and medical imaging from the University of Tunis El Manar. Today, I'm excited to present our paper titled Heart Failure Prediction, Performance Evaluation, and Comparative Analysis of Machine Learning Algorithms. So, to get you through this presentation, we divided it into 4 main sections. We will start with introduction, challenges, and objective. Then we will explain the methodological approach for comparative study. In the third part, we will explain results and discussion, and we will finish with conclusion and perspectives. So let's start with the introduction, challenges and objective. According to the World Health Organization, heart failure is a growing global concern which affects more than 64 million individuals in the world, posing a major health challenge. It's a complex condition requiring accurate assessment and timely intervention. For example, in Tunisia, this heart disease affects more than 31,000 patients. So the rising prevalence of heart failure represents a major challenge for modern medicine, making this file a priority and a continuously evolving research area. For this, prediction of heart failure at an early stage is crucial for preventing complications and improving patient outcomes. In this context, machine learning offers promising solutions. It is in this context that our work aims to evaluate the performance of state-of-the-art machine learning algorithms in predicting heart failure, and this will be by exploring their strengths, limitations, and practical implications. So we seek to provide insights that can enhance clinical decision making. Let's move now to explain the methodological approach we adopted for the comparative study. So we started with initial research by exploring the Rachita. It was conducted to identify relevant studies published between 2020 and 2024. Then we conducted a refined research by applying a selection criteria. The selected papers were analyzed based on the machine learning approach, dataset, performance, and challenges reported in the cited papers. We for the final selection, we analyzed the selected papers by the comparison of the accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, and the F1 score of machine learning algorithms. Let's start with the digital exploration. We explored the database searches such as PubMed, Scopus, and Web of Science. Then we applied specific keywords such as heart attack, machine learning, heart failure prediction, comparative analysis, death risk, and finally we reviewed the references of the selected papers to identify any further relevant studies. For the selection criteria, uh, we uh, we applied uh, we applied specific eligibility criteria such as publication type. We selected only peer-reviewed papers. We chose also the nature according to the nature of publication and the credibility of the publisher. Finally, we compared the selected papers uh, according to accuracy, sensitivity, F1 score, and specificity. Let's move now to explain the results and discussion. Before that, let's explain the general workflow of prediction system. Generally, we start with the data set collection, uh, which may include biological signals, medical images. Then we split data into two types, training data set and testing data set. However, sometimes or in the most of cases, we pass through a pre-processing step, including normalization, feature extraction, noise reduction, and data augmentation. Then we have feature selection, such as age, medical history, sex, and blood pressure. Then we have model construction and training. We have also the model validation. The method, sorry. The model is tested on validation data sets through statistical measures. And finally, we have evaluation of prediction models where the model is tested on new data sets and the maximum accuracy is achieved. And finally, we have the model ready to use for prediction. In the context of heart failure prediction, several machine learning algorithms have been employed. In the following table, we present the most relevant and recent methods. It also highlights the number of features used in each study, the dataset used, and the performance of the proposed methods in terms of various metrics such as accuracy, specificity, sensitivity, F1 score, as well as the challenges reported in these studies. So let's start with the first work. They used random forest machine learning techniques, using 7 features, and they achieve an accuracy of 93%. In this work, the accuracy was reduced when all features were used for training. For the next work, they used light gradient boosting machine using only 5 features, using the same database, which is comprehensive heart disease. They achieved 93% of accuracy, and in this work, they used a limited number of features when training the model. For the next work, they used scaled conjugate gradient backpropagation of artificial neural network. They increased the number of features. They used 11 features, and they achieved 88% of accuracy. Here they need to extend the processing time and higher number of iteration. We can note here that when we increase the number of features, we lose on in terms of accuracy. For the next work, they used random forest as the proposed method, and they compared it with other machine learning algorithms such as support vector machine, logistic regression, and AdaBoost. They used the same number of features, and they achieved 76% of accuracy. In this work, the model was developed on a small dataset due to the lack of a publicly available one. So for another work, they used a neurophysics system using 12 features, and they achieved 100% of accuracy. In this work, every two features in the dataset were entered manually into the NFS model, which is a disadvantage. And for the next work, which is a recent work published in 2023, they used a mode clustering and compared it with other machine learning algorithms. They used 12 features, and they achieved 87% of accuracy. In this work, the study was based on a single dataset and may not be generalizable to other populations or patient groups. The next work, they used a deep neural network using 12 features, and they achieved, in terms of accuracy, 95%. 95%. So in this work, the dataset features were highly correlated. Finally, for the next work, they used a decision tree algorithm, and they increased the number of features. They used 19 features, and they achieved 91% of accuracy. In this work, implementing the proposed approach in a clinical decision support system requires extensive testing and validation on larger, more diverse data sets. So, based on the results previously cited in the table, we note that the accuracy of heart failure prediction is influenced by various factors, such as the machine learning model, the dataset characteristics, such as its size, and finally the number of features taken into account. So, the analysis of the results shows that increasing the number of features may have potential positive impacts such as more data representation, potential for better insights. However, it also introduces negative impacts such as longer training time, poor convergence, difficulties of optimization, and finally reduction of the accuracy. So, some of the methods described in the table, the proposed novel approaches using random forest, light gradient boosting machine, and scaled conjugate gradient backpropagation of artificial neural networks were applied to the same dataset, which was comprehensive heart disease. The results show that the light gradient boosting machine achieved the highest accuracy with 93%, outperforming the other methods. So, by comparing the works who respectively applied the neurophysics system, mode clustering, and artificial neural networks, we note that the neurophysics system outperforms the other machine learning algorithms with performance with an accuracy of 100%. So, based on the results and discussion we have just explored, we conclude that the accuracy of heart failure prediction is influenced by various factors, such as the machine learning model, the dataset characteristics, such as its size, and the number of features considered. Increasing the number of features is not always the best choice because it can compromise the model performance and the superiority of the neurophysics system in predicting heart failure compared to other machine learning algorithms. Regarding perspectives, we plan to compare the performance of machine learning, deep learning, and hybrid methods in predicting heart failure, and applying post hoc model interpretation techniques to understand model to apply to understand model decision making. And thank you for your attention.
Hello. Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
Fruitful presentation, Wafa,
Okay.
and your literature survey will be appreciable. I just wanted to know which are the different challenges you are faced.
The challenges
Challenges of your system.
we compared the machine learning. In fact, actually, we are working on a project to predict heart failure. We started with the machine learning algorithms. Then we are working actually on developing deep learning algorithms to extract features, the most relevant features. Then compared it with the performance of the machine learning algorithms. The challenges are when we increase the number of features, we lose with the accuracy of the model because we increase the number of parameters and the time of training.
Okay, so how you think how we can resolve this problem?
We think that we choose a number of features without we should test the number of features and choose the most relevant to not lose in terms of accuracy.
Okay,
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Do we have Radford Burger to present his presentation?
Yes, I'm available here now.
Okay, thank you. You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay, I have to apologize for being late here, but
It's
okay.
okay. Please start with your presentation.
Is my screen being shared?
Yeah, it is being shared. You may start now.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Radford Berger, and the title of this paper is Elicitation and Prioritization of Requirements for a Clinical Decision Support System for Gait-Related Diseases in Resource-Limited Settings. My corresponding author was Professor Olawande Daramola from the University of Pretoria in South Africa. This is a key outline of the aspects of this work that I will present here today. Non-communicable neurological disorders have become an important global public health concern. Gait-related disorders that include Parkinson's disease, tuberculosis, stroke, and cerebral palsy can drastically impact the quality of a person's life. Gait analysis has been used with varying degrees of success in the assessment of patients with the aforementioned diseases. Common gait analysis tools and methods, which include ground reaction force measurement systems, video cameras, and advanced motion capture systems, are ever costly and require specialized infrastructure and skilled technicians to operate. Tuberculosis and stroke are highly prevalent in resource-limited settings and are among the most common causes of death in countries like South Africa. Resource-limited settings are environments characterized by challenges such as poor ICT infrastructure and medical staff who lack computer and medical skills. These factors make traditional gait analysis a less viable option for treatment of patients in these areas. Clinical decision support systems are computer-based automated healthcare systems that capture and integrate and analyze health data from various resources to assist medical experts with clinical decision-making. Some of the benefits are reduced medical costs and improved accuracy of diagnosis. However, despite all these documented benefits, there are reports that the adoption and implementation rates of such systems have not reached their potential, especially in resource-limited settings. And research suggests that poor requirements analysis during the early phases of the design and development processes is a key contributor to the modest implementation rates. A thorough understanding of requirements is critical for the design of CDSS, which will be relevant to resource-limited settings. This study therefore explores the elicitation and prioritization of requirements of a CDSS tailored to the treatment of gait-related diseases in this environment. A qualitative literature analysis was conducted to identify potential requirements for this type of CDSS, and this involved reviewing relevant academic papers, reports, and case studies that also discuss the specific challenges faced by healthcare workers in these low-resource settings. Functional and non-functional requirements were identified and adapted from the set of requirements obtained from selected articles during the literature review. The functional requirements were categorized into gait analysis, general CDSS functionalities, and decision support. The non-functional requirements were categorized into security and usability. Requirements prioritization is a way to determine which requirements are more important than others based on certain criteria and constraints. A preliminary set of available prioritization techniques suitable for the scope of requirements for this study was selected for consideration. This selection was based on document reviews and literature analysis. The criteria for selecting the most appropriate technique included the ability to handle diverse requirements, ease of use, and adaptability to the specific context of resource-limited settings. A comparative review of prioritization techniques revealed that Moscow is very suitable when dealing with a small to medium requirement set size, which is the case in this study. There is also evidence that Moscow is a useful and straightforward technique for prioritizing software requirements, especially in projects with limited resources and time. Experts in gait analysis, physiology, biomechanics, physiotherapy, and neuromechanics were approached to apply Moscow to prioritize the identified requirements. These experts assigned each requirement to a specific Moscow category. We then applied the majority rule to determine the final category in which a requirement is placed. This means that the choice selected by the majority of the respondents should be applied to the requirement. The Moscow order of precedence was also applied, which means that in cases where there was an equal split between the assigned priority for any requirement, the assigned priority was promoted to the rating with the higher precedence, where the must-have category has the highest precedence and the won't-have category has the lowest. The results show that 59% of the functional requirements were rated as must-have, emphasizing the crucial role in the CDSS's core functionality. 36.3% were rated as should have, indicating their importance in enhancing the system's functionality and usability, but not considered fundamental. 4.5% were rated as could have, reflecting their potential to add value without being critical to the system's core operations. 100% of the non-functional requirements were rated as must-have, emphasizing the critical importance of both security and usability, which are pivotal in ensuring the system's effectiveness and acceptance amongst healthcare providers and patients. The following functional requirements were found to be extremely important and fundamental. The functional requirements that were considered important but not fundamental are listed here. Functional requirements regarding data entry options were considered valuable but not fundamental to the system's core operations, while it was considered unnecessary to have inventory tracking as a feature. All the non-functional requirements that pertain to security and usability were considered to be important and fundamental. In conclusion, the result of the study could provide a better understanding of the requirements for the development of CDSS that can be used in the treatment of gait-related diseases in low-resource environments. It could provide guidance for software developers on the critical requirements for developing such CDSS. In future work, it would be worth considering evaluating the quality of the prioritized requirements, since good quality requirements are important to ensure correct and quality software design and development. That concludes my presentation. I will try to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
No.
Latika ma'am?
A nice presentation. No questions from my side. Thank you.
Okay. So since we
Thank
have
you.
no questions, I will be moving on to the next presentation. Do we have Omar to present the paper titled Enhancing Cybersecurity Through Blockchain Technology? Do we have Omar Ahmed? No. Okay. So I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all the participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough, and we, on the behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during this 10th version and all the previous 9 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 11th version in 2026 as well. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. All the papers have already been forwarded to this printer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2025. Before we end this session, I would like to take a moment to thank the chair for this session, Professor Chetani, for chairing this session. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is a token of appreciation on the behalf of whole team of ICICT 2025 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. Ma'am, would you like to give a quick closing remark to us?
Yeah, all the research and work done by all of you is very good, and we hope to see that you continue in your research work all the time and come up with new ideas and new research methods in your ongoing work. So thank you all of you, and all the best for your future work.
Thank you. I would also like to take a moment to thank Professor Latika Desai for chairing this session. Ma'am, this is a token of appreciation on the behalf of the team for your valuable presence. Ma'am, would you like to share a quick closing remark with us?
Thank you, Anshika. All researchers presented their research very nicely. And one more thing is appreciable, they are taken care of time limit too.
Yeah.
So I thank to ICICT team for inviting me as a session chair. Thank you, Anshika, Amit sir, Aman sir, and Mihir sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would request everyone to kindly switch on their cameras for a quick snapshot before we end the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe and take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Much.